got a lot to talk about. We just wasted like 3 minutes talking about headphones. Shaker's got a really nice pair of headphones on. Not sponsored by Sennheiser, but
hey, sponsor us.
Open to sponsors.
Sponsor us.
Anyways,
we're open to sponsors. We can fit it on our shirts just like F1 cars. We'll find space.
Yeah.
We'll just
sponsorships all the way.
Sponsorships.
Well, yeah, we'll wear race suits. I don't care.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Hope
we
we
could be
do
like
that.
those. They do that in NASCAR, right? They have the broadcast crew all wear fire suits.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, but I feel like they'd just be, very sweaty after a while. I mean, you don't have to wear a suit though, so I guess it's
Maybe they have one underneath.
A suit underneath a fire suit? That would suck. That would suck. Be the worst thing ever.
Anyways, everybody, welcome to the show. It's our Chinese Grand Prix recap. Sorry, we're about almost a week late for this, but it's been very busy
my
for
fault.
us.
That'd be my fault.
Yeah.
For going on vacation.
You probably couldn't tell, but Tyler's been in Tampa Bay.
No,
You saw me make
Big
a fool of
tan.
myself last episode.
So you enjoy yourself? You had a good time?
beautiful time. Wasn't any snow and flakes in the sky, unlike up here, and
Yeah.
beautiful time, and it's got to enjoy some races
Yeah.
early in the morning in Tampa Bay, but boy, were they joys to watch. I mean, first off, I wasn't here for the Bahrain Grand Prix
Mm-hmm.
in general, so nice to see Vettel win that one, bring a little bit of gap, but obviously we're focusing here on the Chinese Grand Prix and just the stellar race that was. And before we start anything, Shaker, this is the first full race front to back that you've ever watched.
Yes.
What
correct.
a treat for that to be.
It was fantastic, man. It was really good.
You might be one of the only F1 fans to have a very entertaining first race to watch.
Rare. It's very rare.
I've seen parts of races here and there, probably 5 to 10 laps of time, but never sat through a full race front to back. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and representing.
Well, he got to see the Red Bull in full force and the return of the torpedo. I'm not sure if Danny Kvyat was actually in Max Verstappen's car for this race, but it sure as hell seemed like it, because was he ever on a lunatic mission?
I don't know what was
Sebastian
wrong with him.
Vettel would say. Suicidal it was.
Yeah. Boy. He should have. Yeah, Verstappen, man, I don't know what his issue is, but he's costing himself race wins. He's costing the team points, and he's costing championship position.
Well, he's also costing good relationships with the drivers.
I don't think he has any left.
Well,
maybe him and
maybe
he hasn't
Ricky.
run into Ricardo yet. So
well, yes, he has last year.
he did in Hungary as well.
Oh, is it Hungary or Monza?
Yeah, that's where he said
maybe it was
fucking
Hungary.
sore loser.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's right. Who hasn't he run into yet? Maybe the BackMarkers.
Maybe a Sauber or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, they're pretty tight then, I guess. But I think he's run into pretty much everybody inside the top 6 of the championship.
But
So
I like watching him to see what he's gonna do.
Well, yeah, he's entertaining.
That's the whole point. He's gonna get better. He's still young, but I like watching him. You never know what's gonna happen at those corners. So.
Yeah, that's definitely sure. You don't know. There might not be a gap there, but he'll try to make a gap.
oh, he doesn't care if there's a gap. He's going for
No,
it.
he's going for it.
Yeah, I mean the thing about young, I mean he's not. Well, I mean he is still young, but he's been in the sport for a few years now.
Third full season, I believe.
Yeah.
Or is it fourth now?
I think it's his 4th.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That'd be right. 2 years Toro. So yeah.
But I mean, it's how long can you use that excuse of he's young? I mean, he's done plenty of races so far, so he just needs better judgment. Because again, Red Bull could have finished 1 and 2.
100%, easily 1 and 2, easily 1
Wouldn't
and
even
2.
been in question. Yeah.
With that beautiful strategy that Christian Horner pulled out in the last second, and I don't know how Ferrari didn't see that, because Ferrari
Didn't see anything on Sunday.
Ferrari was just out of it.
Yeah, Kimi should have been in the pits as well, because I believe Ricardo one of the Red Bulls was ahead of Kimi, and both of them flew. So it's not like Kimi still had time. If the Red Bulls did it, Kimi had time to react as well.
Well, Verstappen had cut off Gasly, hadn't he, to get into the pits when they were going in?
He
I
passed
don't
him.
remember.
Yeah, he passed him in the
that's
pit
right,
lane.
yeah.
But that is
That's legal.
So
That
you
is
can
legal,
do that.
yeah, but
So it was good
A little
move
team
by him.
play by Pierre
Yeah.
Gasly.
Yeah, if I put my tinfoil hat on and be conspiracy guy, the junior Red Bull team crashed together so that they could bring out the safety
here we
car.
go.
And
Oh
then,
yeah,
What is
it was.
this, Haas all over
I had
again?
my.
I'm just
tinfoil
reading
hat.
the online comments, but yeah, it's like Haas and Ferrari all over again. But
no, it's still like Raikkonen had enough. If Ferrari had this brains, they could have brought Raikkonen in at the same time, and then Raikkonen could be fighting. Raikkonen would have had either first or second with the new soft tires he would have put on as well.
well, I don't know about that. But
Okay, Kimmy.
but yeah, man, I don't know what they were doing. They got everything wrong. I mean, they missed the undercut, and then man,
And they just left Kimmy there
yeah,
out to dry.
that's what was one of the main talking points I wanted to mention. Was like they are screwing him out of anything. I mean, well, and they could be screwing themselves out of a constructor championship.
Yeah.
With the way they're going with Kimi Räikkönen. But yeah, I mean, they just had no strategy for him. Vettel did cut him off a little bit during the start, but I mean,
that was poor team play by Vettel.
it definitely was. But
Because it allowed Bottas to easily grab second spot, and that's the thing that Ferrari didn't want. They wanted to have the front two horses up there and pace the race themselves, and then instead now they were sandwiched and it just didn't work out. That was the start of the end for Ferrari in that race.
Vettel was selfish there because if he would have stayed on the outside, maybe Kimi would have got by him, but he still, like you said, they would have been 1-2.
Even 1-2, and then you battle it out from there.
Yeah.
But even then, Vettel would have had the better line going to turn 2, so it staying on the outside. So it didn't really make much sense to me and why he cut Kimi off.
I agree. Maybe he felt that his tires weren't up to the right temperatures and he couldn't find the grip on the outside, but you're completely right. If, going into turn 2,
he would have been on the
inside. Yeah. So I don't know. Again, it was so close to Singapore last year. If he would have gone a little bit more, Raikkonen backed off. So credit to Kimi Räikkönen for saving his race and Vettel's race because he could have easily just kept going and they would have collided.
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't have been as bad as Singapore, but they would have lost even more.
Well, it would have been over for Ferrari
at the start.
Mm-hmm. Where in this area they had at least a little chance to try and salvage a win or salvage some points, but turns out that didn't happen at all either.
And here's the problem I have with it is, Ferrari's arguably has the best car this year, and they've got one of the best teams ever. I mean, I think everybody can agree on that. But you have 2 world championship drivers on your team. No other team on the grid currently has that. So, for you to play favorites in race 3 already for Sebastian to win the championship, yes, he did win the first 2 races, but it's still close.
Yeah.
And there's still
Say
chance.
Sebastian has a couple of failures or a couple of crashes. Other people crash him. All of a sudden now
turns right
around, and they should be pushing Kimi. I don't think they should be pushing one driver just yet. Do the same. Mercedes is doing the same thing. They're not doing the same thing. As in, they're allowing Valtteri to have a little bit of say in himself and what he pushes towards, and still letting him have a chance to win the races, and not saying having team orders there. You take a look at qualifying. Vettel just edges out Raikkonen every time, right?
Just a bit.
Where Valtteri easily is beating Lewis on certain tracks. It just depended, especially here in China.
Yeah, and qualifying was super close. I mean, it was only a few tenths of a second, and Raikkonen could have been on pole. So you can't just ignore. It's not like his quality is so behind Sebastian Vettel's that you can push Vettel. I think that they're pretty evenly matched this year. And I'd even argue that Raikkonen got off to a better start. You saw in Australia. I mean, he was setting better pace.
Yeah.
But if you want to win both championships or one or the other, you do need a team effort. Although this is an individual sport, I think the team aspect,
sport at the same time.
Team aspect is huge. And, for you to sort of be screwing Kimi Räikkönen, I mean, they just left him out there. They had no strategy for him, and he's just running laps, trying to, maybe not even trying to, but just driving slow enough to back Bottas into Vettel to
Which
try and
almost
get the pass.
worked, but didn't work in the
Yeah.
end. But, in the end, Kimi did get the last laugh, though, with everything that did happen.
And that's karma, I guess, if that's sort of punishment for Ferrari. But it could have ended probably a lot worse if they would have gotten Vettel taking him out in that first turn.
Yeah.
But I mean, you gotta think if you're Raikkonen that you're already pretty frustrated, and it's only race 3, so Vettel is definitely going to keep winning races because he has the best car right now. And is it going to get worse? I mean, I just think Raikkonen is going to have to try his best to out-qualify Vettel and just drive races better, or win races.
I think so. I think he needs to win at least one race this year. I mean, especially if this is
way
his
more.
last year. Well, way more you'd want, yeah. But if this is his last season, you want to see Kimi at least go out on a win or something before he leaves Formula One. And I think it'd be a shame for him to leave Formula One, but it's the way Ferrari have treated him over the last several years. First behind Alonso, and then behind Shaker. That was loud.
It was very loud. I'm
Very
sorry
loud.
about that.
Might want to turn that down.
Lance Stroll was in our ears. But we could talk about Lance Stroll. I guess too. It's 6 overtakes on the, since you're playing it, Shaker. 6 overtakes on the very first lap. Impressive by the young Canadian, I must say. Staying out of trouble, realizing where the danger was, and just did a great job of fighting the car and making sure that he could stick it in. And I mean, even though he didn't finish exactly where he wanted to, this is what Williams will need to do, and Lance will and Sorokin will need to do to try and get positions in the race, because they don't have a fast car. But if they can try to make places up on the first lap, just how Lance did in China, that's where you're going to make your points. Try to get your points. Try to get your positions up.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Lance Stroll in quite a while, and Williams in general, and I mean, there's good reason for that. There really wasn't much to talk about. But yeah, really good start for him. And again, I think a positive weekend for Williams, even though, like you said, they didn't finish particularly well. But I think at the very least, it showed that they have some potential, and they're going to get some upgrades in Spain in 2 races' time. So hopefully they can, kind of get some points. I mean, they're the only team to not score points yet this year. So they've got a long year ahead, but it doesn't look good for Williams. I don't think that they're going to be competing for really anything except maybe trying to get out of the bottom of the grid for 2018.
Which is too bad, because that's such a storied team in Formula One. You want to see them do well. But it's just to, have to say that it's kind of a lack of, I don't know if it's a lack of motivation for the team, but I mean, there's just been no upgrades from last year to this year, it seems.
Yeah, and almost a downgrade too. It looks like the car is much worse than it was last year. And also, it just sucks for your 2 young drivers, because it's not easy as a young driver in a struggling team. If you had, like a Felipe Massa there or Alonso with McLaren, there's a good example of a experienced, talented driver being able to cope with a car that's not very good and a team that has a struggle with finding the balance and performance of the car. So having 2 young drivers there and then a rookie driver, I think it's difficult even more so for them and for the team to try and find a good balance of performance.
Now, going towards next year, it's for Williams, obviously has to be a point of improving a lot, and I hope they're doing their research and development for next year as well. Now, interesting news on next year. I know we're getting a little off topic from the race, but I know the FIA was trying to see if they want to put new aero rules in for next year to try to make cars able to follow each other better now. And if they want to do that, the rules have to be in by April 30th, which isn't a lot of time. Would you like to see new aero rules for next year, or would you rather leave them the same and wait for the new 2021 Formula One?
I would rather wait until 2021. And yeah, like you mentioned, the deadline is coming up pretty soon. So I don't know if they can get a unanimous decision on, before, because I think it's the end of April, right?
Yeah, April 30th is the
deadline. April 30th. So knowing Formula One and knowing the teams, I don't know if they can come to a unanimous decision within 2 weeks' time. But if they could, I would rather that they delay it till 2021, just because the problem with Formula One is that they change everything year to year. Yeah. And sometimes it's major changes like it was last year, and then other years it's minor stuff. But there's always changes. It would be nice to sort of see, 2 or 3 years of just sort of the same rules and regulations, and not where teams constantly always have to redesign and redevelop. But definitely they have to work on improving the aero of the car so that they can follow, because there's too many times where we see where drivers can't get too close, so they have to back off. Unstable in certain areas, difficult to follow in dirty air. Some cars are obviously better than others, like Mercedes struggles to follow. Ferrari seems that they're better at it. So yeah, I would like to see an improvement in that, because I think that would help overtaking, and it would take away sort of restrictions again from driver and car. But I don't know if they can get that done within about 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, it's a tough allotted time to try and figure everything out, considering they just thought of the idea rather than hashing out over a year or so. And I mean, if you're the top 6 teams, I don't know if you really want that, because you have the package down and you seem to be doing half decent with them. And it's nice to see that it's close racing this year in terms of the top 3 teams. So it's I don't know. I like seeing the differences, but I think it's just too from going from the wider lower cars last year to the Halo this year to change it again. I think would be just a little bit too much. I think, like you said as well, wait till 2021, have everything. Do all your research and everything like that and build maybe some model cars and follow each other around and see the differences between those cars. A lot of research has to be done into this before if they really want to make this competitive racing. A lot of work has to be done on and off the track in the wind tunnel, and as well with the money for each of the teams as well. Maybe the teams can only spend a lot amount of money on their engines, on their research and development. And that's how you bring the sport closer. I mean, that's the only ways I can think of. That's what all the major sports leagues have done, is have a salary cap. Maybe implement a salary cap into Formula 1 as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but like you said, I don't think the top teams want to
the top
play
teams
ball.
would never want that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and again, a lot of teams this season struggled with the design of the Halo. Williams in particular, they struggled with designing the Halo. So if you add another thing onto the car that they have to redesign and remodel, like you said, I just think it's just a little bit too much. So yeah, let's wait until 2021 where it looks like we're going to have another new era of Formula 1. And after that sort of just sets the bar for the future of the sport. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on next week before the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But Formula 1 did set out the new sort of plan or blueprint, if you want to call it, for 2021. So they want to, just for example, they want to improve fuel limits so that they can, promote better racing. They're going to maybe change driver weight limit, stuff like that. So it looks like they want to sort of give the fans what they've been wanting. But we'll see how that plays out, and we'll cover more of it next week.
Should we get back to China?
And then, Mercedes pitted Bottas, and they got the undercut on Vettel, and you're like, okay, so here's a little bit of excitement going on.
Well, I think Ferrari misjudged the pit stop length. It was 23. I think that was 23 seconds to go in and out and everything, and it was 24 and a half or something like that. And that's what
they got it wrong.
Through.
Yeah, they definitely did. And then afterwards, it was the two Toro Rosso boys who came together, which...
Holy jeez.
So they said that... So Hartley was ahead of Gasly, so they said that Hartley was supposed to allow Gasly to pass, but there was some sort of massive, lapse of judgment or whatever.
Well, I forget which one was which, but I think it was Gasly was behind.
Yeah,
Gasly
he's the one.
was the one who, Gasly was behind.
Anyways, he locked up, which, obviously he just couldn't slow the car down in time, which usually doesn't help into trying not to cause a collision. So it just was unfortunate for Toro Rosso, but I mean, racing incident maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not like they were racing for position anyway, so it wasn't, I guess a big deal.
Respect.
Sorry?
They were racing for respect.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, as Brennan Hartley too. Boy, he's gotten off to a pretty slow start.
Yeah, I mean, he is older. You have to remember that.
Yeah,
well, I say older, 28 or something like that.
Yeah, which you would think would kind of help with all, but it doesn't seem to be working. But yeah, I don't know. There was two obviously major incidents in that turn 14 there, and just a complete misjudgment from Gasly, and that's probably maybe not where you want to do the sort of the driver swap. Maybe you do it on a straight or something like that, where it's not going to go down poorly. But that set the tone. So when that happened, that sort of snowballed into events that eventually led to a Red Bull victory. So the safety car came out, which people were saying, I think Vettel said this as well, they were complaining that the safety car shouldn't have come out and that the timing wasn't bad.
I know a lot of drivers were calling for it and there was a lot of debris on the track.
A lot.
Oh, you could see it in the replay. There was an intense amount of debris on the track.
Yeah, front wing and side pod everywhere, really.
Yeah, I mean, it could have easily led to a puncture. I mean, those tires puncture pretty easily. So I think the safety car was definitely warranted. And again, for people saying that, they shouldn't have been a safety car because it screwed Vettel sort of out of a potential race win, I mean, let's just point it to Australia. The same thing happened in Australia, and it worked in Vettel's favor. So I have no problem with the way the safety car came out. It made the race exciting, and it made it one of the best in the turbo hybrid era. So
that was it there, wasn't it?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
this was the incident that led to the safety car.
I mean, he did come from a long way back, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, but
it's not smart from Gasly.
It's not smart from Gasly, but they were talking on the team radio for him to overtake him.
I mean, I can see how Hartley sort of turned in, but it was sort of the same with Verstappen and Vettel, where there's a point where you look away from your mirrors.
Yeah,
and
that's
you-
what Martin Brundle was saying.
Yeah.
I believe the whole race is that you have to spot your braking point, and then you're focusing on the apex, but you kind of know where your rival is going to be, the car who's going to pass, and whether he's too far away or not. And this is what won the race right here.
And
Oh, this
MVP
is
team is this
Oh,
Red Bull
unreal
garage.
team! This was so. If you watch the slow mo replay, you could still see one of the guys on the back wheel still pushing the tire away as the other tire away as the second vehicle's pulling up.
That's two. They did 2 pit stops stacked like that. That's 16 tires in 10 seconds, I believe they did.
So this is where the question comes from me, and this is where it sort of fuels the conspiracy theorists. Is so when the safety car came out, it was in turn 14, right? So the 2 Red Bulls were most likely on the straight, right? Because the top, let's say 4, so Vettel, Bottas, Hamilton weren't able to make it to the pit because by the time the safety car came out, they were already passed.
I think Hamilton might have.
Hamilton was
but-
closer,
but
right?
it would have
Hamilton
been like
was closer, but I
last
think
minute.
it would
Yeah.
have been a very last minute.
Very close.
Because I think Verstappen had just made it in last
Yeah.
minute too, right? So
So that's what fuels sort of the tinfoil people out there. Is
Yeah,
that,
but again, like I said earlier in the podcast, Raikkonen should have been in.
Yeah.
At the same time, but
So that's where I would like to know with Red Bull is, were they planning on pitting earlier? Because you have to understand that they got to get all those tires out there. So that, they had 8 tires, right, for the 2 cars.
well, it must have been something where you have to say if a safety car comes out at any point,
I guess they were ready.
You're coming in. You're coming in for softs. You're coming in no matter what. You're coming in. So they must have had all the tires ready and heated. And you're always preparing, ready to go. Because you get a puncture in 14. Well, you have to come in right away. So
Yeah.
they're always going to be ready. You're going to be ready for something.
oh my God! Here
Even
it was.
so, it was fantastic though, the job that they did.
Yeah.
And it shook up the entire race. And then with the new soft tires, the leaders were on the worn mediums, and it was pretty much game over.
All right. Well, sorry. I'm being mesmerized by
Yeah,
Danny
me
Rick
too.
here.
Danny Rick is just fucking.
So let's
Oh,
talk
this
about
is-
that was Max. Sorry, that was Max.
That
But
was Max, but yeah.
Yeah, so just pause it for a second, because this is where it sort of started. So Verstappen obviously was cutting his way through the field, and then he came up to Lewis Hamilton, and this is where it started for him. So this is what's surprising, is that he almost went off and spun in turn 7, trying to go on the outside of Hamilton, which not smart to pass there. You're going to get up in the marbles there. There's no grip. The car's going to get unstable. And again, he was close enough where he was in DRS range, and the long straight, the back straight, was coming up in about a few corners. So he has to keep a level head and say, okay, I'm just going to be patient, and I'm going to wait till I get on the straight, and I'm going to pass him fairly easily. So then he went off. Okay, he came back, didn't really lose much position. I think Ricardo passed him, right? Yeah.
Ricardo- a
No,
couple of-
yes, he did, because
Did
they almost collided, actually, I think, right?
Jake, can you rewind it a little
Yeah,
bit?
see if you can play it out.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
go back
Yeah.
there just a little bit.
Well, it'll play right here. It's cool.
No, but just to show that the 2 Red Bulls almost came together.
This is where, it's gonna happen
okay,
right here.
Yeah, okay. See, they
Oh yeah, right
Oh, I
here.
so
see.
very
Okay, yeah.
close. So if Verstappen maybe would have turned a little bit more tighter, maybe didn't even see Daniel, then that could have ended badly for Red Bull.
Right, that's where it
But
was.
like
All
this
right.
is this.
And then
This
this one,
is-
oh,
This was just.
Wait,
Oh.
rewind that.
and it's the sometimes you just got to what do you say after the
You
race?
got
It
you
was,
got
uh,
to lick the stamp.
lick the stamp and send it.
See, pause it right
sometimes.
here. Oh, I just back it up a little bit. So I released a video shortly after the race, just kind of taking a look at the overtake. But look where
He's
he is.
50 meters behind at least.
Hamilton's at the
So
150 meter board.
So Hamilton breaks at 150. Let's see. Can we play
Probably
it?
at 100. I would say just a bit before 100.
Just before 100, and I think maybe Daniel's at the 100 marker when he
Like he launched
I don't know,
himself
he's-
in there.
I don't know how he made that car stick.
No lockups of the rears or the front.
And Verstappen got Hamilton here, which was a nice move, I will say. And I think Hamilton realized, okay, I don't want to crash.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to crash. I don't want Max to kill me up the side.
Smart
here.
driving. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
similar to the Bahrain.
And
overtake.
I hope that Ricardo's pass on Bottas is coming up here. This was an easy
This was
one.
easy. He probably closed his eyes in here
Yeah.
doing this one. This one was.
I thought Vettel's going to come back on the outside and
and
cross
try to
him up
take
here.
him. Yeah.
He just didn't have the
But
tires
he did
for
not-
it.
and this was
Oh.
that
Oof.
wasn't smart.
And he lit up.
that
Vettel
was-
lit up the rears.
Well,
trying
it
to
ruined
get
his
back.
race.
Yeah, it did.
Because that
Let's see
led.
the yeah, I mean, look at this though. Yeah,
I mean, that's just.
come on, Max. Come on. Oh,
No,
he just
yeah,
turned in very
Well,
sharp.
it's a hairpin. It's a hairpin corner, Max. I don't know what else.
and
you're
and
gonna
Vettel on
expect.
the radio is like, I don't think I have to say anything.
Well, he
here.
doesn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
But that led Hulkenberg by.
And then Alonso
Alonso got
passed
by,
a Ferrari
which
for
is-
8th, but anyways.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
I
you.
think
And this was just fantastic.
This-
was something else.
Yeah.
I was thinking, no way he's sending it. No way he's sending it. Okay, he's sending it. Beautiful block by Valtteri, but just a little sniff.
just a little
How
bit.
does he brake like that?
He must have some unreal touch.
When I turn off the ABS in F1 2017, I lock up every corner. I lock up every corner, and I even have the pedals and the wheel and everything, and I still lock up.
No, it was just unbelievable performance by Ricardo, and really deserved driver of the day and
Oh,
and
driver of the year.
Yeah, but maybe overtakes
Well,
of the year in that one.
Tyler
Yeah.
and
This
I
could
were
be one to
talking
remember.
right before
For
right before we started, and we were like, "This might be one of the race of the years." Third race in, but like, holy,
Yeah,
that was
I
a
think
good
so.
race.
Could be race of the year for sure. This is when Fernando got.
Yeah, Fernando
it's a
just
beautiful
didn't care.
overtake as well. I hope people
I
realize
He
think-
squeezed him a little.
a little
I-
bit.
I think he hit
Oh
him.
yeah.
He didn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm passing the Ferrari. He's like, I probably won't get this chance again. So, oh man, yeah,
What a
that
race.
it was crazy. It was, and you know, like I said, we all had our favorites, but seeing Ricardo win, I think everybody was happy with that.
Yeah.
I love seeing him win.
Yeah. I don't think anyone really has anything against Danny Rick. He's a great guy. He always has a smile on his face. Great driver.
Out of his 6 victories, he's never won it from outside, I think, the top 5.
Yeah.
He's won every race outside the top 5,
When he started,
Wh-
yeah.
which is
He
pretty.
always
Which
puts
crazy.
on a masterclass when he wins.
And shows you that Red Bull has a great car.
yeah.
When they could bring everything together. And of course, seeing where the weekend started for them, blew up the engine in FP3, almost didn't make it out for qualifying.
Yeah.
Ricardo, hell of a job again to get into Q3, and then just had a steady race. Got lucky, of course, with the safety car, but still, it was almost a win-win either way, where they were going to finish without the safety car. But yeah,
Unreal.
great guy. I love the guy.
Yeah.
We should have him on the show sometime.
He's
We
up
should
in
call him.
Canada in a couple month and a half.
Yeah, sure. With the weather that we're having.
Yeah. Like
It's
people
still
like
snowing.
commentary.
We're 2 weeks away from May, and we had
We had an ice storm.
we had an ice storm after the Chinese Grand Prix, right? Yeah, that's why we weren't even thinking of doing the show right after, because we're like, yeah, we're not skating to the studio.
I was also in Florida, so.
Yeah,
It
we
was,
know.
it was during the Grand Prix that it started.
Yeah, I
during
think so.
during China is when
Yeah.
the ice storm started.
Yeah.
You know what? Because we knew the ice from inside Danny Ricciardo's veins. was
Yeah,
running.
the ice in his veins. And I sent out this tweet during the race that Ricardo's brain tells him to brake, and 5 meters later his foot actually does it. And that tweet got featured on WTF1. So.
Your tweet?
Yeah. Did I not send you that?
I didn't say,
See if you can pull up our
What?
Twitter. Yeah, of course. I wouldn't really say our friends at WTF1, but our fellow YouTube channelers at WTF1.
Yeah,
they
maybe
do
we could.
a fantastic internet's best reaction after every race,
We
and
could send him a message.
yeah, and I just sent out a tweet, and this is the first time I actually used their hashtag. I was like, you know what, might as well give it a shot, and they posted it on there. So
boy, look at you.
thank you to the boys from the UK.
You want to come on our show and help our account? Let us know. Looking at you, Matt, Matty G.
Way
Looking
to
at
be
you.
subtle. See if we come up on Twitter. Just search at TBM F1 show, and we should pop up. So yeah, that was there was a lot of really funny. If you guys haven't seen their video, check it out, because there's a lot
they're
of funny
hilarious.
memes that
They're
came
hilarious.
out of the race. It's funny with this age of internet, right? I mean, 5-10 years ago, we would never have
No, never.
stuff like that online interaction during races. So it's pretty funny, and people are so quick too with the memes and all the funny stuff. Are we not coming up?
Where are you?
Put in F1 show.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The internet needs needs about like 10 minutes.
Need, well, we'll get there eventually.
We work like a Williams.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Or actually, any Ferrari team's pit stop.
There we
mechanics.
go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, if you guys want to check us a follow too, you can follow us at TBMF1 Show on Twitter and Instagram.
Shameless plug. We don't have Instagram
No,
yet, but
that's
we're
why.
probably gonna get on it. There we
here
are.
it is.
Hey. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, see?
Hold on, give it like.
Give it like 3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, we'll give it a little bit to.
But yeah, it's fun to get
Wait,
to interact.
Matthew Gallagher, ex Matty G, and WTF1. Thanks so much for featuring our tweet on your show. Toss subscribe.
I mean, it's only fair we're subscribed to them, so
Yeah, that is only fair. You'll follow for follow, right?
yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah, that was a cool little nugget there. And what else? Was there anything else that really happened in the race? Other than Daniel Ricciardo's masterclass.
Trying to think. Nothing really other than a nice, plentiful amount of teams, different teams in the top 10 in terms of the midfield battle, which is nice to see. As of course, I think Renault had the best day of any.
Renault had a really good day.
Team.
The Hulk.
Well, I
Hulkenberg's
think
having a great
Sainz
season.
had a good race as well.
Yeah, I think they finished in the points.
9th, yeah.
I at one point. Here we got
where
the race up. P11 for Sainz. Yeah.
No, because this isn't the race.
Oh,
Because
this is
Verstappen's
fastest
on
laps.
second.
This is fast
Sorry.
laps. My bad.
God damn it, Shaker.
Go on, Shaker.
I wanted to know. I was curious.
Yeah, both Red Bulls setting the
Yeah,
fastest
well, it
laps.
helps when you have no fuel and soft tires. in
Yeah,
the race.
I guess it does.
No, it was
ninth.
ninth.
Yeah,
P9, yeah. So they're only one of 5 teams to finish all races in the points. And it's that time of the show. We have to talk about McLaren.
What? They exist?
Yeah,
All right.
another double points.
That's
Wait,
true.
no, hold on.
No, not double points.
But another points finish
Another
for
points
Fernando
finish,
Alonso. They had
12
now
points. Oh, sorry. Pardon me. That's wrong. 6 points.
Yeah,
6
but they
points.
now
Half
have more points in 3 races than they did all
Last
of
3
20.
seasons.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they know it is the last 3 seasons.
So well done to
Pretty sure.
McLaren. And it looks like they're going to get some more upgrades to Barcelona than heading into Monaco and Canada. So we could see them improve in their qualifying position.
I do think it's that time of show for F1 power rankings. So
It is.
the F1 power rankings.
That's my
updated
favorite time. I love these power rankings.
because they make no sense usually.
Usually.
I disagreed with a lot of this.
So they say we take out machinery, and yet they rank certain people because of machinery.
Yeah, I don't really know how it makes sense.
So go to the top because it shows the definition. So we'll read what they say. So how it's done. It's a brand new feature for 2018. Our team of experts assess each driver after every Grand
Monkeys, not experts.
Prix and score them according to their performance across the weekend, taking machinery out of the equation. It's in bold. It's in bolded font. Our experts' scores are then combined to produce an ongoing overall ranking which reflects driver form, bolded once again, taking only the 3 most recent races.
Well, there's only been 3
into
races this
account.
season.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the rankings.
Last
So,
time it was Kevin Magnussen.
still at number 1,
Still
but
at
we have a
number
new number 1 in town, Mr. Vettel. As
I
David
mean, I'm not
Croft says.
100% sure about that, but
I ranked him number 1 last week, personally.
yeah, but if we're taking the most recent,
talking about China and taking machinery out of the equation, I don't know. I would have ranked him number 1 last week. I'm not sure after China.
Here's why I think they put him number 1. He got pole.
championship leader.
Yeah, he got pole, championship leader, and most likely would have finished either P2 or P1 had the safety car not come out.
Fair.
But
Fair.
are we playing situationals or are we just going off of what happened? Going off of what happened, I would shoot Daniel Ricciardo to number 1, to be honest with you.
Same, me too.
I mean, from
Or
where...
at least number 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1 or 2. Like he should be up there in the top 3. If they're basing it on last 3 performances as well, he should be up there in the top
Yeah,
3.
I agree.
For sure.
That's true, yeah. I just read it and I already forgot it is based on last 3 performances. So yeah, I probably wouldn't drop Vettel out of the top 2 though, at least,
No.
for taking all 3
But
into
no,
account.
I
At
agree.
the same time-
I agree. I wouldn't drop him out of the top.
At the same time, I'll never complain seeing Fernando on top of the leaderboard. So
Yeah.
him at second's
Gotta
okay
love
with me.
Fernando, right? He's
Yeah, I don't think he should be 2. I think he
No,
should
but
be
I'm
3.
just not complaining.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, he had a good race again, scoring in the points. So
Poor K-Mag.
so Alonso 2, Kevin Magnussen at number 3.
Disappointing.
And what's going on with Romain
I-
Grosjean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Been
No one's
finishing
I don't
way
know,
at the
I
back.
still don't understand why Magnussen's 3rd, but anyways,
They just like him.
I guess so. Maybe he told him to suck his balls or something like that. And they're like, all right, well, I guess you're number 1 this week.
well, they explain here, right? Slips 2 places.
Yeah. Solid outing in China. Even his failure to reach Q3. I mean, you have to be reaching Q3 to make the top 3.
He didn't even reach Q3?
No.
Shit, I should be in these power rankings then.
All right. Well, I don't know.
Aging rubber. He was aging.
Still doesn't make much sense, but we're okay with it.
And then Danny Rick is
Danny
number
Rick
4.
which
number
is whatever.
4. He jumped 5 spots.
He was ranked 9th last week, so he jumped up 5 spots. Like
I'm
Shaker
okay with
said.
Hulkenberg ranked number 5. That seems accurate.
Yeah,
That's accurate.
I agree with that.
Maybe the only one they've gotten right so far.
What else?
What else do we have, Shaker? Lewis at 6.
Yeah.
I can agree with that as
I
well.
can agree
he
with that.
He was really struggling.
I'm
This
not
weekend.
really sure why Marcus Ericsson is still in the top 10 of these rankings, but
Oh, man, he's having really good drives.
yeah, but I mean,
I'm kidding.
He was a star in the first 2 races of the year. Tyler.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm not sure. I mean, he is limping a very bad Sauber to decent finishes.
I guess,
Which is
but
fair.
again, are we taking machinery into account?
No, that's why he's number 7. Because we're not. Kimi at 8th. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, didn't move from last week.
Valtteri is finally in the power ranking.
Yeah.
How do you say
we were-
that last name?
Botas.
No, stop it.
We had a pretty good comment. Somebody was mentioning the way Shaker pronounces Bottas.
Bottas.
Hey,
Bottas.
I want you guys to spell my name right.
Yeah.
Do it.
And his full name too.
Full name too. I'm not even gonna tell you what my full name is. Figure it out.
It doesn't even fit on the screen.
No, it doesn't fit on the
It
screen.
doesn't fit at all. So
You're worse than Karthikeyanen.
who?
Karthikeyanen.
Oh yeah, the
cucumber.
the Indian, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Indian driver.
He was the first Indian driver.
I think
in
he's the
F1,
only
right?
one.
The only? Yeah.
I can make it.
You got.
Yeah.
I got an easier name.
What was his first name? I forget.
I think it's Karoon.
I don't know. That sounds right.
Yeah, I think it was Karoon.
But I mean, I feel like a lot of Indians are named Karun. Is that right, Shaker?
I don't know if you're pronouncing that right.
Oh, okay.
Probably not.
Anyways,
I've heard Karan.
Oh, that's probably that makes more sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've like Canadianized
We've
it.
Englished, yeah.
Yeah, Englished it. Englishinized it.
It might be with a U at the end, though. I don't know. Is it with a U at the end?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
know.
Giving too much attention to him.
Yeah. Somehow Karthikeyan has made an appearance on the show.
Who's next? Pastor Maldonado?
I was about to say Pastor.
AKA Max Verstappen.
Pierre Gasly, number 10. I'm okay with that as well. But I mean, I don't think after.
I don't think he should be in.
Well, if you're taking the last 3 races in, yes, he's okay at 10.
Fair, but like he had one
Yeah.
good performance. So
Yeah, but if you're taking the last 3, that's why he's 10th. I can agree with that.
So if not Gasly at 10, who else would you put in? Because I'm trying to think of who else we could put in at 10, but I don't really.
Sainz?
Maybe, but not his last 2 races. I don't think. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fine. I guess his P4 performance in Bahrain was so
yeah, I
good.
guess
to keep
so.
him in there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess there's nobody really. There's nobody else.
Yeah, I don't know who else you. I don't
Charles
really see
Leclerc?
anybody else. I mean, maybe Perez. Perez has had 2 good races.
Yeah, he didn't have bad.
Yeah,
races.
but he hasn't had many points this year, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, we fairly agree for the most part with the list. But
I think I agreed with 3 out of 10. It's better than like the 1 out
I
of
like.
10
I
had
agreed
last
with the
time.
people in there. I would change the order around, but the people in there are right.
that's the power ranking. So before we go, guys, Formula One this week just launched their new fantasy game. So new to Formula One, they're launching a fantasy game. If it's similar to
Already
Premier-
4 races and 3 races in the season, but they're
Yeah.
launching it, so it's okay.
better late than never.
Yeah.
So it's similar to like Premier League fantasy. If all the soccer fans out there, if you guys are playing it, so we have it open, I think, in one of the tabs. Oh, here it is. So yeah, so you guys can log in and you pick 5 drivers and you pick a constructor. You have $100 million budget, and away you go. And obviously points accumulate after races, and then you can make changes. There's a couple of special bonuses. You select like a turbo driver that can score you extra points, stuff like that. So we've created a league. It's called the BackMarkers F1 Show, and we're going to put it on the screen so you guys can check us out. So make sure you join our league, and you guys can see the code on the screen as well. Enter that code, and you can join our BackMarkers league. Shaker, myself, and I will all be...
Myself and I, nice one. I'll be in there too.
He'll be in there
He'll be in there
twice, though.
twice,
Is
but
what
alright.
he's saying.
Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. Tyler, myself, and Shaker will all be in this league. So we hope as many of you can join us, because the winner at the end of the season in our league will win a special prize from us. And
Yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
yeah, it
but
could be
it could be a
a
mug.
special mug like this,
or
right
a
over
hat
here.
or something.
Or a hat.
Your
you know.
favorite team's hat. Well, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah,
figure it
it's
out.
another
If you
Yeah.
have any suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, just nothing too.
Nothing
expensive.
like, you know.
Yeah, like I'm not buying you a steering wheel or something like that.
Yeah, you know, be reasonable.
And the prizes don't count for us. So if one of us finishes first, then we don't get
Which
the
I
prize.
think is bullshit, but whatever.
You don't make the rules. I'm Charlie Whiting.
I mean,
and
do
make
I
the
get to
rules.
win? I don't know anything about this stuff.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You get to win. We'll count
kidding.
you as an outsider. So join our league, guys. Make sure you also subscribe to us. So to be eligible for the prize, you have to be subscribed to us on YouTube. So make sure you do that and join our league. And good luck and enjoy in the fantasy fun of Formula One. I think that's about it for us for the Chinese Grand Prix recap.
See you in
anything else?
Azerbaijan.
Yes, Baku next week. That's an earlier race for us in the Eastern time zone. But it's the old city of Baku, a historic circuit, beautiful city, and an interesting new track.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait for our preview.
Yep.
We'll have the
bring you
preview
guys
up next week.
next week. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Boys, thank you again, and we'll see you in Baku.